Good morning, Mirror people. So I wanted to come on here today. What day is it? I think it's Sunday. Yeah, today is Super Bowl Sunday. I don't know if I'm going to watch it or not, but this is the root beer version. This is the killer right here. So, I'm trying to wait to talk about what I want to talk about until the fucking cat is done annoying me in the litter box. Okay. This cat sounds like he's digging a hole to China. Okay. So, what I'm going to talk about today is kind of like, I want to talk about who I am. Now, there's a lot of people out there following me who just think that I'm this guy that talks about mental health and RV 101 and stuff like that. Let me tell you why. I think I should tell you why I'm here. And last night I sat in my RV and I realized, I looked through the RV from the bedroom and I said, wow, even though this is not like a Tifton or a tour bus or anything that costs like $700,000, and I may never ever be in that situation, but I do know when I die, I'm not going to fucking leave a debt to anyone's grandchildren or anything like that. But I sat here and I said, man, you're 55 years old and look what you've done in your life. Look at the kid that you have. She's not even 18 and she's already a 2-time world champ. And that's not because of me. Maybe because of the driven, the motivation that I have. And, it's the gene, my gene that's in her, and then the other gene, which is the gene from my ex-wife that's makes my daughter so dominant, meaning like she's very attractive. So she has that, from what my ex-wife says, she drained it all out of her and it went into my kid. So that's where we are today, because like I sat and looked through the RV and I said, I never imagined that I would be here. Like, there was a time where I was living like shit with my dad in an apartment in Carlisle called Hanover Manor. And some of you that are from Carlisle, you know exactly where I'm talking about. While my ex-wife and my daughter lived in my house, not even paying the mortgage. And when finally my dad died and I got to come back and ousted them because I was left with the mortgage. Yeah. So that's where I am today, and that's why I put so much pride into this thing here. And knowing one day that there's going to be like a windstorm, it's just going to fucking blow this thing apart. But anyways, so let's talk about who I am, okay? Born and raised in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, to a mother, a father. I'm just going to be short on the childhood with my mom and dad, okay? Terrible childhood. Father drunk, spends all his money on alcohol. Mother, not really educated. None of my parents graduated. Just, you got an obese mom and a dad that calls everybody names. And I'm sure some of my friends that are following me understand what the hell they mentally went through when they came to my house. So, and this is something I'm not going to talk about in interviews, but first of all, I'm going to tell you, in today's society, if somebody would come on the internet and bash you or call you names, and we didn't have the internet back then, so imagine, because it was face to face. Okay, it was real. You fucking face reality back then when we didn't have this shit right here. Okay, so now you can go on the internet and say something and find out later that that person unalived themselves because they felt they didn't need to be here no more because of society. And I don't know if this is a direct reflection, no, a direct message to the classmates that I have. And I know some of them are actually watching right now. So I think because of what happened, it's the way I am today. Because I feel like today, meaning names and shit like that, I consider them as bullets. They fucking bounce off me and I just go like this because I'm here and you're there. You're still working, paying money for college for your fucking kids and shit. And I'm here and my kid is where she's at. So, and she's not even 18 yet. So, in grade school, this idiot went around and told people that I fucked my cat. Now, if you don't know how quick that gets around, imagine. But now it's not the internet, it's face to face. It's people saying this to your face, and you're a small child. Meow. And you gotta go with that. Like, you gotta do your schoolwork and all that shit, and you got people in the classroom saying meow, meow, and these fucking idiots believe it, So it must mean I have like a millimeter Peter, because like my cat probably would be dead or something. I know people do it to like animals and shit, like, goats and shit like that, and big ass dogs and shit, but I don't know, man. I don't know if it's like even truly possible to like rip the asshole up on a little tiny cat and the cat will survive. But so going through grade school, going through high school, having fucking people in their little cliques and all that stuff call me names, especially like people put the puzzle pieces together and say Bill the Cat. Remember the cartoon Bill the Cat? Do you remember Cat Stevens the singer? Yeah, I used to get all kinds of shit, man. And good looking girls, man, would not even date me. Like, they wouldn't even, people wouldn't even talk to me because they just believe what they heard. So, moving forward, after graduation, I joined the Army and went to combat at 19 years old. So, some of you all joined the Army and went to basic training at AIT and fucking sat at home for a while, and then went into the real Army and got a job or something and never seen combat or fucking joined the reserves or the National Guard. And I'm not saying anything about that now. I'm not bashing them, because back then they didn't fucking do anything. But I went to Germany and I went straight to combat a couple months later. And I realized when I was in combat, after surviving and seeing the chaos that I did, I wasn't in actual like pum combat, but the reality of seeing dead people on the battlefield and women and children all scorched up and shit at the highway of hell, realized that I had a purpose. So, and then you come home and your fucking parents have taken all your money because they believe you're dead, because none of the mail got to them. So And I'm just going to fast forward it real quick. I was in the Army, blah, 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 blah. I was stationed in fucking some of the best assignments: Fort Carson, Fort Lewis, freaking Fort Riley, Fort Sill. You know, I did all my schools and everything. And during them times while I was in, I started getting very bad at PTSD, and I just want to say it cost my career. So I ended up at Walter Reed Army Medical Center, doing some charades and shit, waking up in the morning, going to class or training or whatever it was called, therapy. You sit in the classroom with 12 other people or in a conference room or whatever the fuck it is, all drugged up on lithium, some other medication. I didn't know what I was doing, but later on I researched and found out, you know, they didn't want anyone to snap in class and stuff. So basically we're just a bunch of zombified fucking people in class. You got these little scissors that aren't sharp. You cut out shit daily out of magazines that you never even fucking existed, like Better Homes and Garden and shit like that. And you have to hold it up and display it to fucking other adults and say, this is how my day's going, or, you know. I said in my first book, The Mirror, how I felt like at any time we'd sit down and do Duck, Duck, Goose. That's how bad it was. We did one of the most coolest things, light therapy. And I'm now seeing that's coming out. I don't know if you all are seeing this shit with red lights and all that. Well, back in 2007, they used that on us. And I disclosed that it was like a chicken coop. We were in a closet, had white lights and red lights, and you had buzzards and shit. It was like a reaction thing. And then we used magic markers and drew on the board. Like, this is your chalkboard. And, a whiteboard, not this. You had red markers and black markers. And you know what red was for like pain. And black was your everyday shit. So a lot of people drew in red a lot. So where I'm getting at is the two different books. All right. So, The Mirror is all therapeutic poetry. Okay. But I think the battle started after I retired from the military and went home. And I think I've said many times that my ex-wife was a psych nurse. So a lot of people from high school and a lot of people in here don't know that I used to be this happy-go-lucky guy. Like, I was very lovable, and I had teeth and shit. And the reason why I have gaps in my mouth is because I want to prove to people what long-term medication does. Lithium makes your fucking teeth fall out. And I'm not going to go spend a bunch of money and get new teeth and be fake. There's nothing fake on me at all. Nothing. So I'm not going to go get a fake grill and people be like, you got fake teeth? Well, the story is, the reason why I got gaps is because of fucking lithium. And it's a proven fact, because I walk the walk and talk the talk. So, I'm at home. I don't know my kid for 3 years. I don't fucking pay attention to her. I don't pay attention to my ex-wife for fucking 10 years. She does the bills. She makes the food. And all I do is sit around and attempt to do nothing. You know? Feel sorry about myself. I worked for Pepsi. I think it's the first time I'll disclose this. I fucking hated that job. Coming from being a senior in the military and being on your knees in a Walmart and you're pulling cubes and shit from the shelves and you have fucking people that call you like, hey, Get underneath there and get them cubes. And you know, inside your head, you're like, I want to grab this motherfucker and strangle them. And I'm going to tell you, there's a few people out there who I know who have come up to me while I was in that position in the store and have laughed at me. But that job didn't last long. And then I went to Correctional Officers Academy, and that was a rude awakening, because when you have PTSD and you're dealing with inmates and people, damn dude, I'm like fucking crying. When you have inmates and shit that are worse than you were, and you're walking around, you have to take that shit home, because fucking none of the other guards in the fucking prison want to hear you crying, because if you bitch, they'll fire your ass. There's no room for that. So you just suck in everything that these fucking inmates tell you, the lies and shit, and you're so balled up, you go home and fucking take it out on your wife and kid. So, and then the Navy called me, and I will tell you, if it wasn't for Aaron and Karen, I don't think I'd be here today. You know. Oh, I do have to go back to Walter Reed, because like I went through like a internship with Jason and Tim, and government agency that taught me how to be a security specialist. But now we fast forward, and they called me and come work, and I really didn't even need trained. You know, I got on the bandwagon and was rolling along. I had one security director, and now this is in the broken mirror. This is the broken mirror now. Had one security director who was there for 40 years. 40 years. From like 2009 to 2015, she was my direct boss. And she was amazing, but I didn't get along with her. I don't know. And then there was this other fucking lady. She had the same last name as me, Stevens, and everybody thought we were married. I hated that bitch. I really did. I hated her. Things just kept piling up and piling up. And then eventually, after 2015 all the way to 2023, I've had like 8 fucking security directors. Hell, some of them were fucking people that worked in the office, man. They didn't have nobody to hire, so they just took somebody from the office and put them in charge. But hell, I would say the people in the office did better than the fucking other people we had. So eventually I got terminated through an email because I made a comment to the equal opportunity people that I don't think me and my boss needed to be in the same office together. So I filed for disability retirement, and it was approved. And May 4th, 2024, I started talking to my phone. Somebody told me that it's like therapeutic. And the broken mirror was born. And the reason why I came on here today is to tell you that there are people in my situation that are worse than me. And if my 2 books can give you a message, and I know a lot of authors ain't gonna come on and tell you the shit that's in their books. You know, they might say, I did a vision and I dreamed this book and blah blah blah. My shit ain't fucking fiction, all right? So my shit is all true. And I really wish that mental health stories would get out there. You know, I don't suffer from addiction because I watched it with my dad. I damn sure don't suffer from alcoholism because I really didn't want to put that physical abuse on my child. Hell, my ex-wife did the punishment because I probably would snatch my kid up and kill her. I'm just telling you, that's how fucked and drugged up I was. So I let her do everything, and she came from a family that didn't discipline or spank people. So, but both of my books have been approved by the Pentagon, If that doesn't tell you a reason why I put my message out, then I don't know what is. You can always go on Amazon and read my bio. It's not like what I just told you. You have to kind of sugarcoat it a little bit, but I'm telling you the truth. If I can't get followers from what I just told you, then you're following the wrong person, because I don't sugarcoat anything, and that's why I'm the voice of the voiceless. But the journey continues. I'm building a broken bond with my kid, and that's why I'm wearing this shirt called I'm Broken. Because if you think that you've been down the road and you're all fucked up, maybe you and I should just sit down sometime and talk, because I'm not the guy that you all knew back in high school. I'm different now. And I realized sometime in my life, working with the same psychiatrist from 2008 all the way now, that I had a purpose. And that purpose was to spread a message. And like I said, if my book can reach one person, if I can inspire one person, if I can come out on the road and inspire people by, handing out mementos and tokens and shit, letting them know that they have a purpose and they have a voice, then I want you all to understand that I didn't just make up a name, the voice of the voiceless, because there's a lot of fucking veterans out there. There's a lot of people on the couch that don't want to speak, and they silence people. And I will speak until I'm silenced. But if I can't speak on the internet, then I'm just going to tell people face to face, and somebody don't want to hear me no more, then they need to unalive me. So those are the brave ones that listened to almost 25 minutes of this little spill that I put out, because I think some of y'all think that I'm fucking a loose cannon, and I have no direction. So I do have a purpose in life, and that is to show people that if they are suffering, there are other ways than addiction and other shit therapeutically. I don't do medical marijuana. I see the effects sometimes on people who abuse that situation. I do interact with those people who do that, and like I said, they're trying to turn me on to edibles, so I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. But I'm into aromatherapy now, like the essential oils. It's helping me a little bit. I will tell you that since I've been out on the road, thank God I bought a fucking new bed. I was laying in my bed last night going, God, can you imagine how these fucking people sleep in bunk beds and shit on the road? And for a while, it was only that weird couch that had the U in it. I was sleeping on that fucking thing. So I'm 55 years old in a U, trying to figure out, why am I here? What the fuck am I doing? So I wanted to thank everybody who came on here today. This is my morning message, and I hope it sunk in. The people who I gave my book to, the people who bought my book and read the book, who's done the reviews, you people who I gave the books to, you owe me at least a thank you or a review, because last thing I'm going to say is reviews make an author, and I am an author, and I am the voice of the voiceless. Thank you very much. Go Birds.